morning. Good morning, Rodney. Gotta get used to that smiling for a few minutes. Maybe that's like a good thing. Maybe it's like it gives me the opportunity to smile for a few seconds uncomfortably, and then I can start talking, because my son's really adamant about my thumbnails. Today's a good day. It started off, I woke up extra early, well, earlier than normal when I don't go to the gym or anything, and then the first thing I did was I had Siri read off the Just for Today to me. And today's Just for Today was so amazing for me. It's about God doing things for me that I can't do for myself. My higher power, if you don't believe in that kind of thing. Yeah. It says that sometimes a relationship will end. Well, that's relevant. It says that sometimes, that's double relevant. It says that sometimes God will take people out of our lives. Just like God puts people in my life. My higher power has been there for me through thick and thin, through all of this. And things happen in my life that sometimes I don't want it to happen, but it needs to happen. However, it's going to happen. And the most important thing for me to focus on is my recovery, which gives me the ability to focus on my kids, my job, and everything. I've been raising kids for more than half my life. For over 20 years. And when I was younger, I always thought that the most important thing in my life has to be my kids. And, that has to be a top priority. But see, if I'm just taking care of my kids and I'm getting loaded, I'm not taking care of my kids. And if I put anything above my recovery, then eventually my recovery becomes third or fourth option. And when it's my third or fourth option, I'm always going to get loaded. I say this because I know from personal experience, I will. If I stop doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. Having a conversation with my sponsor yesterday where he was like, hey, I'm noticing this. I need you to get back into your step work. That's great advice. Last night I grabbed my step work book. I looked all over for my clearly I haven't done it in a minute because I could not find my pad where I started it. So I was left with, do I start it over or do I continue looking? And I put it on my bed so when I get home, I can't, the commitment I made to myself is if I can't find the workbook that I did that in within an hour of looking for it, and I should be able to find it under that, then I'm starting that step all over again. I was probably 25 questions into it, but what do? Just not do it? I committed to myself that I would do it last night. The commitment I made to him was I would start it by next week and not go to one of those meetings, because I go to one like every day, and do step work. Spend an hour and 15 minutes doing step work. I mean, this is all about the step work. So instead of beating myself up because I couldn't find it, and then what I did find was the last step I worked with him before I got loaded, which was step 8. And I just thought to myself, man, I remember that last question when I answered it to him, and then later on that day, So I got to get back to that. I got to do that tonight. Aside from that, my daughter's officially home, and I woke up with this epiphany of, while I'm getting the house organized and situated and then getting a room set up for her, I'm going to focus on my room and get it completely cleared out of all the stuff that's in it. And then I'm going to throw a bed in there until I've got her situation situated. And, you know, my guess is it's going to just be a couple weeks at max. But that way she can have a good space. She can have alone time with her man. I'll sleep on the couch if need be, while she has, you know, she can sleep with him. And she's 23. I'll just go to the gym. If you're a father, you know the hell I'm thinking about right now. It's like, anyways, but he's a good freaking dude, and they probably end up marrying each other. So I support that relationship 100%. They're both, it's healthy. I hear how they talk to each other. It's a good thing. So yeah, worse things have gone up in that room. So, the Just for Today was read to me by Siri, which was awesome. That was awesome. And yeah, as I read it, it was just, you know, considering how yesterday went, and yesterday was good until, you know, what I shared yesterday. And then I woke up like, yeah, absolutely. This is about trusting my higher power. I mean, I only need to really, like, the way I look at it is, when we really need to trust our higher, see, I need to trust my higher power with every situation, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? But the time I need my higher power most is when things are going not my way, and it's very uncomfortable, and I don't like it. It's so easy to trust that, you know, everything's working out, and now I trust. But when things are not working out, that's when you need your higher power most. That's when you have to lean on your higher power the strongest. That's when your higher power wants your faith. And there have been times in these last 8 months that I have felt so uncomfortable. And I'm not even talking about a couple weeks ago. That's just another page in the things that have happened where I felt uncomfortable, especially with these bills, especially with like my job, my living situation, all of it. Like, I didn't think I was going to get into an Oxford house. I was sitting there with like 5 days left in treatment. Like, man, everybody's full. And I remember looking up saying, okay, you know what? I've passed 4 interviews and they all said they'd put me on the waiting list. So I've done everything I possibly can. I looked up and I said, I trust in you. And what I'm not going to do is pray that somebody gets loaded and kicked out of a house. I will just look up and trust in you that an opportunity will arise. Maybe they'll transition. Maybe somebody will be like, okay, I'm now been here long enough and I'm moving on my own. Something like that. And then within like 3 hours of that prayer, with 3 hours of that, like, okay, I release it. I'm not going to stress over it now. One of the counselors came up to me and said, hey man, there's an opening. And you go through a different process. You're just going to talk to her tonight. Do you want it? Yes. I contemplated living in Shelton, which would have been so far because they wanted me there. And he said there's like 4 openings there, but it was so far. And I said, well, if that becomes the opportunity, that's what I'm going to take. And it was like, I had that conversation after the prayer. The prayer said, well, here, take one of the Shelton spots. And I said, okay, that's going to add another hour to my drive to work, another hour, I got to get home, so I've got to leave. I already contemplated all that, and I said, I'll do that if that's what it needs to be. And then, like, we went on break, and he hit me up. So that's how it transpired, and that's how I was like, man, this is how it works. So then I get out, and all these things happen. That worked out financially. I even asked for a relationship and love, and I got that. It may not have been the way I wanted it, but I got it. My higher power doesn't give me exactly what I want. It gives me sometimes what I ask for. Like, okay, here you go. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm ready. You ain't ready, but here. I wasn't ready. I thought I was, but I wasn't. And I know that now because of how it went down at the end. But I was, though, if you think about it, because I handled it the way I was supposed to. And it might not have been so graceful, but I wasn't nasty about it, and I wasn't a shithead about it either. I found perspective in it and gratitude in it, and now I'm able to. I feel like last night I didn't doom scroll. Like last night was great. I didn't sit on my phone and feel sad enough to where I needed to go to the gym. That's like growth right there. And I feel like the days are going to continue to be that way, and eventually it'll just be a memory. And I appreciate it. There's some stuff going on around, like outside of my hula hoop, that are 10 times, that are really stressful for people. And they would switch the way I felt. They would switch in a heartbeat with my situation. I didn't even go and do the whole like compare it to terrible situations, which is actually a good thing because I can do that. I have this ability to, well, I've learned how to. I once thought my ex was messing around on me, and I remember writing, "This is the worst shit ever." And then I stopped writing and I read that over and over again for maybe a minute and a half. The worst shit ever. All right, let's do this. And so I said, okay, I want to pretend that I found out that, or there's somebody out there that found out that their kid was just diagnosed with terminal cancer and they're not going to make it for more than a week. They're in the hospital. They got a week to live. Then I thought about, somebody in Ukraine hiding in a bunker, and the insurgents, or whatever you want to call them, are coming in and they can see them. And they're gonna, and they witnessed, a lot of people die. Then I thought about somebody who just found out, they got a call from the doctor. They've been feeling weird, and they found out that the doctor said, it's not good. You got about a month to live. And I thought about those situations, and I thought, okay, if those people could trade places with me right now, how would they do it? Based on what I'm feeling, in a heartbeat. They'd switch with me in a heartbeat. So on a scale of worst shit ever, then where do I class this at? Is it 2 million? Is it 180,000? Yeah, for me it seems bad. At the time, it seems terrible at the time. It seems like my worst ever, but it's not. I haven't really come to my worst ever. And so I used that practice to help me get through my first and second year clean. And then I come across a situation where I don't like the way I feel, but I didn't use it. I just felt things because that deflected. Feel it first. A wise person once told me. So I like the process I did. I like the way I got through it. I like that it kind of changed me a little bit. I like where I'm at right now. I don't want to change anything. Sure, I want comfort and, all that other stuff, but I know now I need to grow. And then I need to, more importantly, trust that what I'm giving my trust in is working it all out for me. And what will be provided will be, I will look at it and say, yes, this is what I wanted. I didn't know I wanted it until I was able to have it. That goes the same with being clean. We pray to be clean, and we just want to be 1 year clean. You know, like I just want to be 1 year clean. I got 1 hour clean. I want to be 1 year clean. If God provided that, if our higher power provided us that 1 year, we would be loaded in 15 minutes. We need to go through this. So I got to go through all of this. And that way I can guard my heart, guard my mind, and be good. And so that's my message of today. You're wanted, needed, and loved. I'm wanted, needed, and loved. Last day of the month. It better be a grind. I need 2.5 deals today. 2.5 deals today. Where yesterday I thought I needed 2 deals to get to 20. Today I need 2.5 to get to 25. And I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. And if I don't get it, then I'm going to give thanks to where I'm at. But today, it's fucking go time. I want to be able to buy a bed for her. And I feel like today I can make that happen. But I need to make it happen. So today, the goal, buy a fucking bed for Shayna. That's the goal. Make enough to buy a bed for Shayna. That's really 1 car deal, but 2.5 would be nice. Then she'd get a mattress too. Anyways, bye. Love you. Have a good day.